Hey everybody, today I'm in downtown Indianapolis, and we're not really going to talk about downtown Indianapolis today, honestly. We're going to talk about the downtowns of a lot of the surrounding cities of Indianapolis, because some of them are pretty surprising, honestly. And I actually hear the question often about the downtown area of a lot of these cities is that who has the best downtown of all the cities that surround Indianapolis? So we're getting into that in this video, so stay tuned. Hey everybody, I'm Jason Compton with the Compton Home Group. Welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time to the channel and you want to know everything there is to know about downtown Indianapolis or the downtown area of any of the surrounding cities and towns, then don't hesitate to hit that subscribe button and also tap the little bell so you're notified every time we do a new video. And we have people reaching out to us from all over the country with questions about downtown Indianapolis, Indianapolis in general, and of course all the surrounding cities and towns. So if you have questions at all about any of those places, then don't hesitate to reach out any way that you know how. We'll always have your back with those questions. We'll certainly have your back when it comes time for you to make your move to Indianapolis. All right, so today we're talking about, again, not downtown Indianapolis, but the downtown area of a lot of the surrounding cities of Indianapolis. And if we were put in a contest, which it would be absurd, I mean, we're talking opinion after opinion after opinion, what city has the best downtown area? And surprisingly, I do hear that quite often, and I understand why people ask that, because when you have a downtown area of a city or a town, that's kind of a central location for that city or town, and it's sort of a cultural heart. And usually there's quite a bit going on in the downtown area. So it's a place that you can, of course, live, but you can also visit through the week. On the weekends, they can have a ton of different things going on, like festivals, farmers markets, concerts, just a million different things can actually happen in the downtown, the cultural heart of a city or a town. So if we were to put a contest out there, like who has the best downtown area? Well, downtown Indianapolis, which is where I'm walking around right now today, would obviously be pretty hard to, just because of the sheer size of it, the history of it. It's been here a very, very long time. So if you want some of the best restaurants in Indianapolis, the biggest concerts, the biggest sporting events, well, this is the place where that's going to happen, of course. So putting Indianapolis in the mix probably isn't fair. So we won't. So if we're talking about just the downtown area of a lot of these, I'm gonna cross New Jersey Street here, the downtown area of the surrounding, I would call them the big or the most well-known cities around Indianapolis. So places like Greenwood on the south side, very big suburb on the south side, very popular. Or if you go over to the west, when you get into Plainfield, or you get into Avon, you get into Brownsburg, west side suburbs, very popular, not as big, but very popular, very highly rated places. And then if you get to the north side with a place like Carmel, Indiana, or Fishers, or Westfield, Noblesville, Zionsville, or even if you go out to a city to the east, like Greenwood Indiana, which has a little downtown area. What is the best? So again, we're talking opinions here, and I don't know the answer for you for sure, but I can tell you a lot about the downtown areas of those places, without a doubt. And they all have a little different vibe, which I really think is super cool, because it can tell a lot of people, or anyone, about the personality of that particular city or town, honestly. And I like that fact. So when somebody's coming to Indianapolis or any of the surrounding cities, and they ask us, what are some of the places that we should visit to get to know the area? And of course, there are a lot of different things that you can do if you're trying to get to know Indianapolis, or let's say even a place like Carmel, Indiana, or Greenwood, Indiana. In a weekend, it's gonna be tough to do. You're gonna just have to do the best you can, of course, and we can always help with narrowing it down of what you might need to see or do to get a really good sense as to what's going on there. But the downtown area for just about every single surrounding city is certainly one of the places that we say you probably need to visit, because it's gonna help to get that vibe of what's going on in that particular place. So just as an example, if you look at a place like Noblesville, which is one of my favorite cities that actually surround Indianapolis, just because it has so much going on and so much to do, so much to offer, yet it kind of flies under the radar with comparisons to other places around Indianapolis. It's pretty amazing. The downtown area in Noblesville is just an old square with an old courthouse in the center. And then you have all these shops and restaurants that surround it. There's some businesses that sprawl off of that a little bit, not terribly far, but that is really the personality of Noblesville. And then if you get into a place like the Arts and Design District, or Midtown and Carmel, very different, much newer, very contemporary, much bigger as well, and something really going on just about every single week of the entire year in Carmel. So when you compare those two, Carmel, for the most part, a lot of people would say just blows Noblesville away, but that's not super fair to say because they are so different from one another. Or if you look at a place like Westfield, Westfield's downtown area, it barely exists. There just isn't all that much there, but there's a plan for a very nice, super contemporary downtown area, the Grand Junction Plaza, over the next few years. It's under construction right now, and Westfield has just grown so fast that downtown Westfield is just now starting to catch up with what people really want and what's desired there by really the people putting the vision together for a place like Westfield. Or you go into Zionsville. Zionsville has an old main street. It's actually made of bricks, super awesome, tons of charm, and very unique. And it just speaks to what Zionsville really is like. Now there's a lot of newer homes, and Zionsville is an exceptionally nice place to live. Very expensive place, but incredible, and they've held on to just that feel in the downtown area of what they want Zionsville to kind of be pictured as. Then if you get into a place like Fishers, Fishers is another place that has a pretty neat downtown area, and I'd say it's not exactly perfectly ideal because it's split. So you've got downtown proper where the Nickel Plate District is, and the Nickel Plate Amphitheater, and now the Nickel Plate Trail and some of the restaurants on the west side of I-69, and it's super cool. It's not gigantic, but it is really, really neat. The amphitheater there, in my opinion, blows away any other amphitheater that you've got in any other town surrounding or city surrounding Indianapolis. Indianapolis would be the only one that really competes with it, but you wouldn't be able to include in Noblesville, Ruoff Home Mortgage Music Center, because that wouldn't be fair. I mean, that's a place that can seat almost 30,000 people. So the amphitheater in Fishers, while super awesome, it can only hold maybe, 4,000 people at most out on the lawn, and you gotta bring your own chairs or sit in the grass or sit on a blanket or something. But then on the east side of I-69, you get into the yard at Fishers District, and that's where a lot of the restaurants are in Fishers. And it's been a huge improvement for Fishers actually getting that to get some of the restaurants. But IKEA's over there, Topgolf is over there, so there's a lot going on, but it's divided by 69. So it may be some people's favorite place, favorite downtown, and I would agree, it's very, very cool, and there's a lot of construction going on down there right now, so it's just gonna get probably better and better with more and more going on. But it has I-69 that splits it. It makes the walkability a little bit tougher when you're trying to get from one spot to another. If you're in the district, the yard at Fishers District, you can walk around there, no problem. Or if you're over in the Nickel Plate District, you can walk around there, no problem as well. But getting from one to the other, that's gonna be a little bit tougher. So if you compare all of those, across the street again here, sometimes the comparisons just aren't fair. Now those are the bigger downtown areas. If you get into another big suburb like Greenwood, Indiana, well, the downtown area of Greenwood is kind of lacking. It has a spot, a really cool place where you could have probably a really cool downtown hub or a cultural center, but there's not a ton going on there yet, unfortunately. And then if you get over onto the west side, you get into Plainfield. Plainfield has a super historic, really, really neat downtown area. And there's more being developed there, and one of the things that helps to support Plainfield's downtown area is the trail system in Plainfield. It is really, really phenomenal for a place like that, or what I mean is a place as small as it is. A trail system that connects a lot of the city, and it makes it pretty easy to get from one place to another. The only issue with Plainfield is that US 40, which is Main Street through there, the national road, US 40, which was built to really connect all of the United States. Well, US 40 goes through Indianapolis, it goes out east through Greenfield, Indiana, right through the downtown area of Greenfield as well, but through Plainfield, which makes it very busy. So you can walk around down there safely, and you can certainly use the trails off of the downtown area safely, but as you're walking along on the sidewalks there in downtown Plainfield, there are thousands of cars and trucks that will go through there every single day. So the traffic is pretty heavy, and it could be a little bit noisy as well. Then if you get into a place like Avon, pretty much non-existent for Avon. But then you get into Brownsburg, very tiny. And that's a place that has had some improvements here lately, where they've added a little bit more of a downtown, so you can have more of a central location for the community to have that cultural heart, like I said before. But if you look at a place like Brownsburg compared to the Arts and Science District in Carmel, or East in Greenfield with its old town square as well, with the courthouse, kind of similar to what you have up in Noblesville, although not exactly the same, but very similar, holding on to that historic, older type feel. It's a matter of opinion, who likes what and what the best downtown area is. If you get into Arts and Science District in Carmel, there's quite a bit of traffic. There's a lot of people through there, and some people, they don't really want that. I've talked to many people where Noblesville and that particular vibe is their thing. Or you get into Zionsville and that's their thing. Or you get into a place like Greenwood, which does have a little downtown area. It's just, of course, like I said, not very big. It just doesn't have a lot going on. Some people just flat out don't care. They're all right with it, because the rest of Greenwood is really a pretty family-friendly, affordable city to live in. So sometimes that downtown area being so built up, so much busier than, I'd say, the rest of the city itself, some people could see that as a negative. And they think, well, it just makes our town or city a little bit busier. I want it a little bit quieter. I want it to be a little bit more like a Brownsburg, which is very quiet, or a Plainfield, which for the most part is pretty quiet too. Just that downtown area being so busy with US 40 going straight through it can get a little bit hectic or heavy on the traffic. So to say who has the best downtown area or a central location for that city or town, it's up in the air. I know I certainly have my favorites, but they can change a little bit based on what it is that I'm actually even looking for. Because I'll visit the downtown area of every single one of those places, for the most part, from time to time, because there may be something going on that I or my family want to attend, and the opportunity's there. So that's also one of the great things about the downtown areas of any of these cities or towns, is that you can live in one spot and be relatively close to not just one, but several of them, and take advantage of whatever it is that they might have to offer. So if you have questions at all about any downtown area of course, Indianapolis or any of the surrounding cities, then make sure you reach out. And until the next one, we'll see you later.